Welcome back to Arise Exchange. West Coast dock workers and their employers have yet to reach a deal, despite the ultimatum given to the two sides by Labor Secretary Thomas Perez. This back and forth has dragged on since May over a new contract, and experts say it's causing a huge threat to the global economy that's dependent on goods being shipped, and consumers are going to end up paying the bill. Harry Moser, the Reshoring Initiative's president, joins us now by Skype once again to talk about where we are with what is basically a very large work slowdown. Harry, where are we today? There was some movement this week.
Yeah, there's been discussion. There's the labor secretary is there, but so far no signs of a clear agreement.
All right, and so what is at stake here? For those not familiar, what does the West Coast port do, and how costly is this?
About 40% of all of the freight traffic coming into the U.S. comes in through the West Coast ports. So it's essential that eventually the material gets through, because otherwise companies all over the U.S., retailers, food, doesn't arrive. And at the same time, exports going from the U.S. to these other countries, potatoes, oranges, all kinds of things, don't get there. They rot at the port.
And what's interesting is this is not a strike, it's a labor action, meaning the government, which usually has the power to do so, can't really order the union workers back to work.
I think that's unclear. I think they did it once. They did it under the strike before, and I think that the president, considering the actions he's taken on other things, if he felt it was necessary for the economy, I believe he would order them back to work.
Okay, so
now, it's obviously complicated by the fact that he's rather well aligned with the unions.
What are the big issues here for the workers, and in your opinion, do they have a point?
Overall, I would say it's a rather minor point. What they want is a contract. They want their new contract finalized. They've been negotiating it for 9 months. And from what I read, the compensation in the industry is already very high. You know, it's probably about the highest unionized labor contracts levels in the country, like 100,000, 100 and something thousand per person. And I've read 80,000 per year in benefits. So they're at the top end of the scale now, and I would say that it's an unreasonable demand.
Does this highlight the risk for the nation about how much we are importing goods offshore instead of making them here?
Yeah, that's one reason you called me, because the Reshoring Initiative helps companies understand all the risks, all the costs of offshoring, of bringing things in from all around the world. And when you bring parts in from all kinds of different countries, anything that goes wrong in any one of those countries, like the Japanese tsunami or the Thai floods, any one of those goes wrong, and you don't get critical parts, and you can't make the product. And so it's clear to us that about 25% of what's been offshored could now be made more profitably here if the companies looked at all the costs, all the risks. And so we believe that to the extent that there's a bright side or a silver side to this dock episode, is that it will force companies to reevaluate those risks, and more of them will decide to bring the work back here. And if they do that, the short-term pain that we're getting now will be more than made up for by the gain in the future.
Okay. Harry Moser, the president of Reshoring Initiative. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.